Hey, it's Kristina in Maker Exchange over at the Corona Public Library, bringing episode 19 of video editing. Today, we're going to be working on iMovie utilizing the desktop software. So if you already have a Mac computer, you should have the software downloaded. If not, you can always just go to the App Store, download it for free. So once you open up the iMovie app or software, this is what you should see. Any previous projects that you've been working on, as well as create new. So if I click on it, I can go to movie or trailer. We're going to do movie. And here I have access to immediately all of my media. So I have my iMovie library. So this is everything that I have previously imported, as well as any photos that are on the computer and any events that have taken place on the computer. So if I go to my library, here I have my audio as well as my visuals or my videos that I have imported. If I go to audio, I have access to any music that is downloaded on a computer, though that does not mean that it is copyright free. I have sound effects. These are all previously installed and are copyright free. And I have anything that I have saved from GarageBand. With titles, I have multiple titles that I can choose from. So one of the differences between iOS and using a desktop is you have more options of titles. In addition to titles, we have different backgrounds. So on iOS, we have patterns as well as solids and gradients. But with the desktop, we have a few additions such as the maps, as well as curtains, organic, blobs, and underwater. However, we do not have access to the patterns. Transitions, we also have more transitions on the desktop version. So we have all of the classics such as cross dissolve and blur, but we also have some new ones including spin in, spin out, circle, doorway, and mosaic. The other main difference is it's a little bit easier to edit, and there's a few extra editing options. So if we go over to the right-hand side, we can see our preview screen where we could see all of the options, as well as all of our editing tabs up at the top, which if you can see, it's a little bit grayed out. And if I click on it, it will not work. So it will stay grayed out unless the clip you are working on has that need. And also if you click on it, it won't give you the option. So if we go back to the media, drop in a clip. If we hover over at the end, click, we can just drag to shorten it. We can also just click anywhere, making sure it's yellow so you're highlighting, selecting this particular clip, right click, and then we have all of these options here. So we have our play, cut, copy, delete, split clip, freeze frame, trim to playhead, so trim to wherever the marker is at, show clip trimmer, show speed editor, add cross dissolve, and then reveal in project media. So if I right click and then split, I now have 2 clips. And then right click and delete. So clicking on this clip, I can go over here and I have several options. However, I still do not have access to the audio options as there is no audio link to this particular clip. But I can go over to the wand where it will automatically improve what the computer thinks would be good for the clip. It's pretty minor. So if I go over to balance, I can do auto, match color, do our white balance, skin tone balance, And then within this one for the correction, I can do my highlights and shadows. I can do contrast. Again, highlight and shadows. And the same thing with the end, highlight and shadows. In the middle is the saturation of color. And then off to the right is our temperature. So temperature, the best example of temperature is if you've seen the most recent adaptation of Little Women. When they would do the flashbacks, they would do warmer, highly saturated video. And when they would do present moment, they would do cooler tones. If you don't like what you're working on within the particular tab, you can always do reset. If you don't like all of the changes you've been working on, you can do reset all. So I'm just going to make it a little bit brighter, a little more saturated, a little bit warmer. We can also crop. So we can do crop to fit or crop to fill, crop to fit, and Ken Burns. So Ken Burns is the documentary specialist, and one of the things that he did a lot with photos was adding movement to photos by doing zoom in, zoom out. So this is an option that you can do with iMovie, both on iOS as well as on desktop. On the desktop, at least, when you have a photo, it will automatically add Ken Burns effect. If you don't want that, you have to go into the edit tab and unselect it to do fit. You can also rotate it. Here we have stabilization. So if you have a video where it's a little shaky and you want to smooth it out, we can use this. You have your speed. So we have normal, slow, fast, freeze frame, and custom. If you do slow, then you will see a turtle on the clip. If you do fast, you will see the rabbit or the hare on the clip. And then here we have all of our effects and our filters. So the clip filters is just kind of pretty much like presets. And then the effects are going to be for audio. And so with that, you can, let's see if we can just get an audio in here. And so here you can make it sound muffled. You can make it sound like a robot. It's mostly for vocal, but it still will work on any clip. My favorite is utilizing telephone, and it will sound like the person is on the opposite end of the telephone. And another great use of telephone is the hold music if you have a clip where you have somebody on the phone with hold music. So let's just get another clip down here. I'm going to shorten it so I can just drag and hold, or I can okay, and so here we can see there's a break. So I can actually go to transitions and we can do Mosaic, drag and drop. So here you can change the length of the time, hitting apply. Applying to all will do all transitions for that duration of time. So if we go back, hit play, looks good. Can add in a title. Can do boogie lights. So with the title, as you can see, it can go wherever I want to drop it. And that's when it will start. As you can see the line, and that's the point of the video where it'll start. So I want it to start at the beginning. I want to double click. And I can edit the text. I can also edit the font. Depending on the title that you're using, you can edit the size of the font, bold, italicize, and whether or not it has an outline. And you can change the color of the text as well. And so let's see how that looks. Good. And I'm just going to shorten it up just a little bit more. And here you can actually see this little circle. It creates the drag to slow down or speed up. So that is another spot where you can make it go faster or slower. So looking at the timeline, we have the ability of doing 2 visuals and then having the title. And here we can see a new tab has opened up in our viewer. When we have a video on top of a video, we can do our video overlay. This will allow us to cut away. This is where we can use green screen. So if you have green screen, then what you want on top will be on the top layer, and then the background will be on the bottom layer. Split screen, and then picture in picture. So if I do picture in picture, here we can see the 4 corners, so I can actually move it. So if you're going to do a tutorial video where you want to do talking head, this is one option. Split screen, so I have both side by side. And then I can position left, right, top, bottom. In addition to that, we can also do voiceover. So here we have the mic, we have our record button, we have our voiceover options. So we can do the system, where it's going to come from, and the volume, and then mute the project. Can zoom in or out of your project. Down in the middle, the white timeline is going to be where the playhead is at. The grayed out timeline is the entirety of the video. So these are the basics of using the desktop app. If there's any questions or if you're having any issues with iMovie, let us know in the comments below. And coming up soon, we should have a green screen tutorial as well as a few others. So see you next time.